Hey everyone, how's it going, and welcome back to ROBOTBOY. And in this video we're going to be taking a look at Just Cause 4 and the new development update from Square Enix regarding Just Cause 4's iffy launch, I want to say, with regards to graphics and just the general way the game is handling and just looks, because it's kind of been a complete shambles, especially on the consoles. The game looks like a PS2 game. It's quite unbelievable, really, that it looks like what it looks like. I haven't been able to bring myself to actually launch the game for the past week because I just can't deal with everything that looks wrong with it. But anyway, moving on from that, we have finally got some news from Square Enix regarding a first proper big patch. Now, this came out on the 14th of December and the patch has already been released for PC, but I want to go through what they're fixing for the consoles because that really is where a lot of the massive issues are lying with this game. So let's just read a little bit of the post and then actually get onto the patch notes themselves. So Square Enix say, "Hello everyone, as we mentioned in our recent update, we have been monitoring your feedback and understand that a number of you are experiencing technical issues." That's probably a vast majority of us. "We're very sorry to hear this and we want to assure you that our team of engineers at Avalanche Studios have been working hard over the last week to correct this." I have absolutely no doubt about that. Obviously, no game studio wants their game to release in a horrible state. That's just not the way it works. They haven't obviously put all this effort into the game to then release it looking terrible. There were obviously some issues last minute, and I obviously do not doubt that Avalanche Studios have been working insanely hard to fix all of this. It taints all the hard work that they put into the game developing it. But let's move on. We are expecting the first Just Cause 4 update for PC to roll out today, so this was a couple of days ago, around 3 PM PST. The Just Cause 4 console patches should be ready next week. But they take a little more time due to approvals from Microsoft and Sony. This has always been the case with patches for any game. Full details on each of the patches can be found below. Now, as I say, we'll move on from the PC patches and just go to the Xbox One and PS4 patches, because that's mainly where a lot of the insanely horrible issues are happening. So for Xbox One and PS4, we understand that motion blur is a big issue for some of you. We are therefore adding the ability to either alter the amount of blur and the option to toggle the blur on or off completely. We've also made an important improvement to the resolution of the game on every platform. The full list of updates to expect are below. Improvements to resolution on Xbox One and PS4, added a motion blur toggle to the options menu, added the ability to alter the amount of motion blur, fixes to some motion blur rendering issues, fixes to some texture mapping issues, other graphical improvements such as smoother vegetation transitions, various stability fixes, and lighting updates to some cutscenes, because bloody hell, well, some of those cutscenes literally look like absolute garbage on screen. I wish I'd screen recorded the bit I was watching. I was so in awe at just how ugly it looked. I just had to... Let's quickly review the main things there. So obviously we just talked about motion blur. They talked about that. That is actually causing a lot of people to physically not be able to play the game because it makes them feel ill and actually quite sick because it's just too much. So having the option to turn it down or off completely is a much welcome change. Improvements to the resolution is a big one as well, because as I say, the game looks like a PS2 game. The texture quality and just the general resolution and the resolution for the geometry of a lot of the objects and the terrain is so low, and especially even if you look just maybe a couple past, maybe like 10-20 meters away from you, the quality of geometry drops massively. Everything just looks like boxes, and the textures of when you've got some cutscenes as well and you've got a car pulling up and you've got the characters, which are, I'd say, kind of well detailed, but even then their outfits are just warped. They look like 240p. When they get into the car textures is literally made of squares. It's so insanely bad. I don't know what happened. But anyway, these are coming to the consoles. There's no official date just yet. By the time this video goes up, which should be Monday, maybe it will be up. So, you know, who knows? Yeah, either way, the update is coming this week. And I'm interested to see just how much this game is changed by this initial patch. Obviously, it won't fix everything. There's no way you can just fix everything in one patch. But there will be a lot of major improvements, I hope. And maybe I'll do a review on the update soon to see if there are any actual changes to it. That's it for today's video. Another negative that I think the game is suffering from, this is more of a, you know, gameplay thing, is the wingsuit. Not the standard wingsuit, but the jetpack wingsuit in this game known as the Deathstalker wingsuit. In the previous game, it was known as the Bavarian wingsuit. A lot of us assume that it would be the same thing as Just Cause 3 in here, but for some reason it's not as good, and I want to make a video talking about the differences in the wingsuit and what could be done to improve it. But that's for another video. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, please leave a like and do subscribe to join me on this journey if you haven't done so already, please leave your thoughts and ideas in the comments below as well. What do you think about Just Cause 4 so far? Have you been having any major issues with the graphics on where you're playing? If you're playing on PC and you've already got the patch, has it made a notable difference to you? I'd really like to know. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and with that, I'll see you all in the next video.